And it is a quiet evening. The big Fresno Fair is on, and so is the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Brought to you by RADIO. As long as the RADIO is working, it appears to be working on Channel 11, 27085, your radio beacon for Central California, the Old Tube Radio Network. Here tonight, also oldtuberadio.net on the audio stream, and I think there is a YouTube item happening up there as well. So join us where you can, if you can. The Old Tube Radio Network. Hi, my name is Dennis, net controller for the Old Tube Radio Network, where what we do every Saturday evening, beginning at 8 p.m. Pacific something time. It's still Pacific Daylight Time, but that's going to end here. We listen for, talk about, and check in the classic tube radios from the Class D Citizen Band radio service, and maybe some other ones as well. Started in 1958 when the FCC said, yeah, we'll make a Class D service, and the tube radios went through about 1978. That's what you'll be listening to tonight. Of course, our shortwave listeners, the SWLs, who may or may not have radios, and all of you joining us either on the chat or listening in can chime in as well. It's not a club. We have no dues. We're just an association of people who are interested in the tube radios and citizen band radio and sort of the sound and the way it was way back when. We'll try and recreate that tonight. Thanks for joining us. We start with the direct-to-net roll call. And tonight, 00 had mentioned that he would be away from the air chair, and I will get Phil checked in. It's possible that he may jump into one of our links here. We do have the Echo Link is up. 23 Skidoo has wired in the Echo Link for those of you who do have Echo Link. The node number is 354870. If you've got a two-way radio and you're hearing Central California on Channel 11, join us at 27085 or anywhere else that you might be. So we will get Phil checked in. We will also get SWL number 1 checked in. Mr. Dr. J, one of the guys who got this thing started ever so long ago, 35, 36 years ago, just like this guy here, Mr. OBP, Kevin SWL2, who is out there listening tonight, checking the propagation. I don't know how things were on Monday when we had our solar activity, but they've been a little light today. In fact, the bands right now on the higher frequencies are pretty much gone away. But that doesn't mean we won't get some skip. I haven't heard the mini grass. Haven't heard much of anything. But even locally, we'll see. Maybe we'll get a radio or a check-in or two. SWL3, Rob checking in from the Facebook page. And before I go any farther, is there anyone mobile or that needs to get checked in early that has to go away? I'll listen for you right now. And as you can hear, I'm having a little bit of static that even the noise blanket won't take out tonight. Not sure where that's coming from. We have had dry weather. The wind has calmed down, so maybe that's what it is. We had that windstorm, was it Sunday? So maybe it's blown some dust. I'm sure it's blown some dust in the power lines. That could be what I'm hearing. SWL4. Shortwave listener number 5. SWL6. Shortwave listener number 7. And Mr. Ed may be in later. I'll get him checked in. Up we go to the faraway land up there somewhere in Idaho, SWL10. I see Chrissy is at the keyboard. We will be listening. The bands haven't been great, but we'll be listening to see if we can't hear a robin or a browning golden eagle of sorts beaconing out your way. Thanks for tuning in tonight. over to SWL 13. That is Mr. Cooper. He usually gets in there right near the end of the program, so I will keep an eye out on one of our various comment pages. SWL 14. SWL 16. And that is Charlie's in there tonight. Who is in the audience? Let's go up topside, Dallas, Georgia. That's where the hammock is, I think. That's where the activity happens. If you don't want to be down here in the front, you can stay up in the balcony. Hello to Fresno, Moncks Corner, South Carolina. The unknown SWL. If you see somebody with the rubber duck and the paper bag over their head, that's the unknown SWL. Squamish, BC. The boys from Squamish are in. And no doubt somewhere up there, I can't see the lights are in the way. They'll probably get some popcorn and whatever they're doing. We'll find out what's happening in the green room tonight in just a little bit. Hello to some California stations. We don't normally get the California stations in Santa Maria, San Jose. Hope the weather is nice out there. And I don't think we're going to have any backscatter conditions. Now, if it was Motormouth Mall, if he pointed the beam this way, we probably could hear him from out Santa Maria way. Hello to Inez, Kentucky, Shinston, West Virginia, Gulf Breeze, Florida, floors in, Blanchester, Ohio, Auberry, California, Anoka, Minnesota, Canberra, Oregon, Belfast, Maine, and everybody else up in the front row here tonight. So let me get 16 officially checked in. That's Charlie up there in Anoka. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. Mr. KDA, I will get Mikey checked in. I don't have the seersucker suit tonight. It is out at the cleaners, I think. I think that's where it is. It was not. I looked to see if it was in the OTR dressing room closet, and it was not there. So maybe, and I can't see everything that goes on in the green room or out poolside, so maybe someone has absconded and is wearing it out there, trying to look cool. So we've got yet another appropriate 1970s style jacket tonight. Over to, let me get 18. I said I was going to check Mikey in, and we will do that. Over to SWL 19. That is Chet out there in Belfast. Oh, actually, it says Belfast, but we know better. He's up in Derby, New York, and I think Chet is doing our cue cards tonight, and it looks like they're back. It looks like they're back to the way they should be. I think every bag we had last week was cut up for cue cards, but it's looking good now. Thanks, Chet. Over to SWL 20. I can hear you. There's this strange little beaconing thing, but there is audio, video, and everything else. Okay, we'll be interested to see what RF is emanating, or where the RF is emanating from that particular device later on in the Old Tube Radio Network. We've got you checked in. Harvey out on the west side. Actually, it says Harvey on the west side, but he's not like west side anymore. He's just kind of almost west side. Over to SWL 21, Mr. JT, who spends his Saturday evenings in the Wasama swamps of South Carolina doing what is called Old Radio Night. And I'm going to see if I'm not sure what I've got dialed up. Yeah, okay. I've got some pictures from Old Radio Night. Let me see if we get some audio. He's got the beautiful.
And, they have a roll call on Friday night,
Tram
11
Titan.
o'clock our time. And they've got Hovercraft. I talked to him. Wrecking Ball. I talked to him.
Look at the audio light going there.
A whole bunch of them out there. And I made a video gig on it.
That is 21 on the tram tonight.
I realized they were on there, and I said, "Wow, man, I got to get."
That is a nice
there.
radio.
So that was pretty good. Got to talk to
That's
the guys.
Old Radio Night. that
I could
happens.
only
It
comment
just
on,
finished.
just on the chat area before, so.
I'm watching the.
I talked to, was it Fresno, California was coming in on 30 at lower sideband yesterday. I sat there for maybe 10 minutes, I guess, talking to them.
Yeah, 10-4. Bolt said he heard me out there in the Santa Cruz Mountains in California, and
So it looks like our
piece out there,
it
but
looks like
we've
our
had good
DX is
conditions.
getting good when the Wasama swamps can make it out here to Central California. And it sounds like some of you guys on 38 were talking to the other station there. So hopefully we'll get some conditions here as 25 happens on your AM and sideband and whatever radio you might have. Mr. JT, you are checked in. Sounding good. I love that radio, an old radio night tonight. Next we're going to SWL 22. You know, the Echolink link is up and running tonight. I apologize. Last week I ended up, I think, disconnecting. I ended up disconnecting from the Echolink link and reconnecting back to something else. So anybody who tried last week was probably getting nothing. Anyway, let me try the Echolink link. We'll see if we can get to 23 Skidoo out there. OTR is listening. KB6GFD.
You have reached the 23 Skidoo Echolink link main switchboard. If you know your station's extension, you may enter it now. Main menu. Press 1 for Echolink link check-in. Press 2 for a free radio check. Press 3 to take an old buzzard transmission. Press 4 to hear tonight's green room snack selection. Press 0 to speak with a random SWL, or remain on the line to repeat this menu. Recording 23.
The link is getting sophisticated. I'm going to have to say the link is getting very sophisticated. Let me see. I'm going to press number 1. It may not work. You know how these things are, but we're here. We're in the system. You know how it is when you have the music on hold forever and you finally get to the voice. Let me press number 1. Does it make a tone? No. Maybe it won't go through. We'll see what happens. OTR listening.
Well, hello there, Dennis. Thanks for pressing the tone. I was eagerly awaiting that. 23 Skidoo here checking in, KA3TED. Thanks for all you do, and have a great show.
We are doing good. I see the Echolink link has sort of made it into the 21st century. I like that you can dial up anything you want, so that's a good deal. You're sounding good. Thanks for linking up the items of interest. And maybe we need to do that for net control. We could just automate the whole thing, and when you came in and I'm not even on frequency. There we go. I hope I sound better. I just looked over to the radio. Everybody says he's sort of way over here. All right. Anyway, I got that fixed. Thanks, Mitch. You're sounding good, and we've got some more people to catch on Echolink, and we will do that before the roll call is over. 73 to you, KB6GFD. The old Tube Radio Network just never ceases to amaze me. Let me get 23 checked in. I hope I sound better on frequency now. Looking for SWL 24. I know that was you, Joseph. I didn't hear any audio. Give me another bleep bleep to make sure it's you. All right, it's there. I heard one little syllable. So it's weird. It's making the radio audio is happening because I can hear the Roger beep, but there's nothing coming through the element on the microphone. Over.
Yeah, I gotta get a new mic.
Okay, that time was good. Got to get a new mic. I don't know. Maybe it just took. Maybe you're beaming long path, and it just took that much time to get around the Earth. I got you checked in. SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis 25. I don't know if you can hear me, but good to hear you, and we're back in the saddle at least for tonight. Back to you.
Hey, it is good to hear you back in the saddle. I know you are a busy guy, and there are a lot of places that want live entertainment, which you are able to provide, and you are providing us with some live entertainment right here on the Old Tube Radio Network. I've got you checked in.
Hey, thank you, Dennis. Nice to have a week off.
Isn't it? I think everybody's taking the week off. It's kind of quiet tonight, but good deal. I'll get you checked in. We'll also get 74 as well. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark. We are in the direct-to-net roll call. If you're playing the home game, you will be on page 1, and we're marking in the check-ins on. I've got it says 1017. Actually, it's 1016. Who made this list? But I'm marking them in as we go. That takes us to page 2, where we're looking for SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G.
Sounding good from Studio G. How is everything going over in the studio tonight?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Just doing a few projects out here. Haven't worked any FT8 in a while, but I haven't even checked the bands.
Yeah, the bands were wacko. 20 meters, here we go. That is 20 meters. And it looks like the FT8 is already gone. It's already gone. So I don't know. Maybe you know what? I think I can hear a little bit on 40. I think I'm overloading the receiver here. Anyway, you're sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
Roger that, Dennis. Yeah, if you check 40 meters, 7.074, you might hear something.
Yeah, I was listening. I think I may be swamping the... There they are. There they are. So 40 is open, at least for the FT. That might be FT7. You know, the guys that just can't get in there. But I know, you know, sometimes when you're number 2, you try harder. Thanks for checking in.
Roger.
All right, we'll get going. We're never going to get through the roll call here tonight. SWL 28, Gary up there in Sacramento, up the road just a piece, checking in, and he says, "Let's have a show like no other." Well, good. I'm not going to fall in the pool. The cue cards are good tonight. We've probably got some great stuff over in the green room, and I'm hoping we have some. I know we have at least 1 or 2 radios in there tonight. So that is, and he says, "Is that corduroy I'm wearing? Perfect for the dip." No, it is. This is one of those, you know, another 1970s jacket I pulled out of the college with that sort of, what do they call it? Pulled out of the closet. I probably wore it in college. It's one of those fancy 4-button corduroy jackets. And I couldn't find the seersucker suit tonight. So along with our 1970s radio, we got some 1970s garb. Thanks, Gary, for checking in. We also get a check-in for Mr. Loner. That's SWL 29. And the guy who is up there, Mr. RFI, he is standing by. He is standing by the Robin. He is standing by the Browning Golden Eagle with the beam or whatever it is pointed down south here to Central California, just waiting for that little sporadic E opening. And he'll jump in, just like he always does, if the conditions are in there. So, there you go. All right, let's go to SWL 31. SWL 32. SWL 33. That's an easy check-in because that is myself, Bozo Control, and Mr. Announcer and everybody else that might be hanging out here with us tonight in the Old Tube Radio Studios. Over to SWL 34, Mr. Railroader. And Jimmy's probably doing Facebook stuff. He stays up late, then he jumps in. I've got the whistle. I've got the train whistle ready to go. Let's go over to SWL 35, and I did see Mr. Bill from Cheyenne, Wyoming, the Red Monkey Communications. The reason that you will hear a lot of our radios on tonight, thanks to Bill and the gang at Red Monkey, keeping them on. Chrissy, why do you say pool? No, I'm not even going. I'm not venturing out to the pool tonight. Although I think I may have a picture somewhere of the. They put up one of those not Moxon, what is it, like a cobweb antenna out by the pool, and I think they've got it so it raises up out of the water and uses it like a ground plane. It's pretty cool, but it's horizontally polarized, so we're not using that tonight. 36 you are checked in. Over to SWL, or 35 you are checked in. And let's see, let me go. I'm going to try the Echo link one more time. I'll try the Echo link, and I've got SWL 36. Jerry is in, and I am checking. I am going to see if I can bring a picture up here. Yeah, there it is right there. That is, if I click on this, 36. Look at that Courier Royale. Looks like it just came out of the box. Jerry has been resurrecting his collection from long ago. I'd love to hear that one. There's the inside. Nice, clean radio. And I think he's got a picture. Oh, we'll have to talk about this. WKR Sylvania tubes. There's another one. I'll have to see if Harvey's ever seen those. There's the cover and the microphone. Is that a standard mic? I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. Jerry, are you listening on Echo Link? See if we can grab you for just a second. WR5G, KB6GFD.
Yeah, KB6GFD from WR5G. Well, good evening, Dennis, and thanks for welcoming me into the group. And yes, that picture is of a Courier Royale that I picked up probably about 18 years ago at an estate sale, and just been going through and doing some fall cleaning, I guess you could, just going through and checking to make sure that everything is cleaned up on the inside and that everything works correctly. And this radio actually has all of the original tubes in it, so I know it hasn't been used very much. And I did start looking at the tubes, and they're listed as WKR tubes by Sylvania, and every tube in there has that same brand name on it. But anyway, look forward to being part of the group here on Saturday nights. And again, I appreciate you welcoming me into the group, and look forward to hearing some of the nice audio on the Tube Top radios a little bit later on tonight. I'll turn it back over to you, Dennis, WR5G.
All right, thanks, Sherry. Looking good. There's a picture of the Royale, and it's on Channel 11. That's where it should be on a Saturday evening. Looks good. Hope you can get them on the air in your area. I believe you're out there in Arizona. That is definitely in our short hop sporadic skip zone. So we just might be able to hear some of that stuff. Thanks for checking in with us. Love the radios, and we will chat with you later from the Old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD. Over to SWL 37.
SWL 37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
Good evening. I hope you are doing well and survived the windstorm and everything else that happens. We've got you checked in.
Yeah, I survived that, and I made it into another year yesterday, 73.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention the happy birthday. I know October is the birthday month. 73 is a good year. That's a good number if you're going to be on any type of radio, amateur radio, ham radio, and you are not going to go 73 just yet. So we'll catch you. We'll catch you when you're in the 88 mode, I guess. Over.
But if you say it backwards, what does it come out to be?
37. You are a what is that? Is that a palindrome? You are a palindrome.
All right, there we go. Whatever it is. We made it to another year. I was shocked, but anyway. Anyway, thank you, Dennis, for letting me check in. I try to be back in a little while.
All right, very good. Thanks for checking in the Old Tube Radio Network. We're on the Directed Net Roll Call and the classic tube radios like you saw just moments ago. I'm not sure if we'll have any Courier Royales. I remember the day when one of our radio operators had 3 of them, I think, and he would check them in all in about 1 minute. He had some... We could get 3 Royales in the period of a minute if he had his coax switch set up right. Over to SWL 38. Shortwave Listener 39. SWL40. And I want to say hello to some of our people watching on the YouTube. We have been doing this 35 years. Obviously, when we started in the midnight 1980s, there was no YouTube. I think they just had bulletin boards. If you even had a computer, we didn't even have a printer. We used to have to write all the roll call sheets up by hand. But hello to Uncle Hairball, Victor Echo, Victor Echo 5. Thank you, saying we have a nice community. It is because of the people that remember how Citizen Band was back in the 60s and 70s, and we kind of try and recreate that. Some of our radio collectors, like the old car collectors that like the big tail lights and the fins and the chrome, they like those classic tube radios as well. Who else is listening? Cornbread is out there tonight. Thanks for tuning in tonight. 102 in Scranton, Arkansas. Hello, John. Welcome to the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. A host of others. Just a reminder, you don't have to have any numbers. You don't have to have an old radio to join in. We appreciate anybody who jumps in, makes a comment, tells us about the radios they use. Hello, Rusty Rails. And, that's what we do. It's been going for 35 years because people like you want to get out there and say hello. Let's go over to SWL41. Road Dog 507 checking in from Hudson Valley, 2 International Sideband 507, saying good evening to everyone. Putting the X in the square, and if I press the button, we'll be good there. Over to SWL42. SWL 43. SWL 44. Get a proxy check in for both 43 and 44. I don't know what all the static is tonight. It's got to be from that wind. Let's try up the hill. SWL 45. Hello, Paul. Okay, I can hear you, but boy, that lets me know where my static level is. I have a good extra S unit of static going on. I have no idea where that's coming from. I hope it will, when we get a rain, it'll end up going away. Or I moved some things around in the shack here, so I'm just hoping I didn't introduce any wacky interference. You are sounding good on my radio, as it is, or as it was. I got you checked in. All right, I was just checking the radio, make sure I'm not getting static from that. Over to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47. Unfortunately, from the Radio Lounge, it's an absolute beautiful evening out tonight. I'm barbecuing out there. Going to do the check-in from the radio patio, but things just got too busy. And, well, actually, to be honest, I did have one casualty from that nasty windstorm that we had just a few days ago. The IMAX antenna did survive, and the 2-meter antenna did survive. Unfortunately, my G5, the mini G5 RV, it did not survive that windstorm, and I'm actually pretty upset about that. I can tell you, though, that the paracord that I used to put that antenna up survived quite well, and unfortunately, the copper wire for the antenna itself didn't survive. But there it is. So at least I got 11 meters up and running.
11 meters sounds good. Just remind me that I have really not checked. I'm thinking I may be that my problem is the Starduster was sort of on its last legs, may have succumbed to our breeziness last Sunday and Monday. So I'll have to check that. But I just have a ton of static, so definitely some of that dust has blown in. You're sounding good, though, so I used to have an IMAX 2000, and I lost it in a windstorm, I don't know, a couple of years ago, where it just cracked in half because it was up there in the air where the antenna I have now should be. We've got you checked in, so continue with the barbecue, and we'll check you later.
You got it. Thank you, sir.
And hold the phone. Was that the Santa Maria I saw? MMM Video Gates is out there. Hello, John. The last time I heard you was the end of cycle 24. You were on 28. So this was, what, 8 years ago? And I'm hearing Motormouth Mall on Backscatter in Central California talking to that. Now, last week when we had conditions on Channel 11, I came in, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I tuned to Channel 11, and every station from Oregon to Arizona to Wisconsin to New York to Florida, I all hear them calling for Motormouth Mall. Now, I can't hear John because we're too close, but the entirety of Channel 11 at Saturday morning or whenever it was, are all beaconing out to talk to Motormouth Mall. Anyway, John, I used to talk to my younger brother, I think back when you were in the L.A. area. I can't remember if you were in the Santa Monica or Palisades or something. What was his? I think his handle was Cybernut. I think that was his handle. Anyway, welcome to the Old Tube Radio Network, where tubes are good, new rigs are good. We have been doing this 35 years, and always good to see stations that are interested in getting on the air. That's what we do, just to get on the air and, you know, have a good time, regardless of what you may bring to the radio table. Anyway, let's go to SWL 48. SWL 49. And I think John has been doing some live feeds as well. I see the MMM video gates showing up there when we have some conditions. So check those out on YouTube. When he's got the big beam, pointed, whether it's on the bowl or 28 or 11, and see what's going on. Looking for SWL 50.
50 checking in, and with Jonesville Proxy 650, please.
650, we will get 50 live and direct on your Old Tube Radio Network. Sounding good. SWL 51.
SWL 51. Checking in.
Checking in, sounding good. You got that good audio. Running as always. Sounding good in the Old Tube Radio neighborhood here. Thanks for making the trip.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
Over to SWL 52. SWL 53. I heard somebody hip. Is that the legend? Bob, if you're in there, Mr. Belair, we're putting the X in the square. Yeah, that was a long time ago. That's back when I was when you were up in Brentwood. I was up here in Fresno, but I'd come down to the house in Manhattan Beach. And, you know, Brentwood and Pacific Palisades and Santa Monica had that nice shot down, you know, down the bay around up to Palos Verdes. So he said, yeah, I talked to that guy all the time. But anyway, I was doing the audio thing on my FT980 and the 101, you know, with the Radio Shack EQs and DBX compressors. Nothing like 200% modulation on the mall. But you know, that's the nice thing about radio. You can dial up. You like antennas, you do antennas. You like audio, you do audio. You like QRP, you do QRP. You like CW, you do CW. Whatever it is, you pick what you want. Page 3 is where we're at, looking for SWL 54. Get a check in for Mr. Board Jammer. Let's go up the hill to SWL 55. SWL 56. 56 and 00. He is away. He said he might try the Echo link, and it is up, but I don't see him. He's also typically, Phil has been on the APRS with his walking man, but I don't know where it is. I could probably try and track him down and see if he's out there listening on the link up. But Phil, if you're listening on the stream somewhere, we got you checked in. You might be one of the stations out there from wherever. Hello to our news station up there in the balcony, Newton, who joins us early in the morning. It's 36 a.m. It is raining out there in the Newtown, out there in the UK, but thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. And listen, you won't hear the Old Tube Radio Network, but more than likely, you will hear Motormouth Mall when he has the beam pointed that way. Over to SWL 57. And if I get to the right screen, I could probably check in 57. I've got too many windows open. Brown Dog Audio checking in, dedicating tonight to his father-in-law's birthday in heaven today. Well, very good. I am sure he is enjoying the things. What do we say? Virtually, vicariously. Anyway, enjoying all those things. And it is we've had a couple of birthdays going on today, so we will make sure we get you checked in. In Central Kentucky, BDA is out there listening in. And Captain Chaos as well. Thanks for reminding us of that. SWL 58, Jeremy, who's out there in Tennessee now. He's working on some antenna systems, some big power to make it back to the Old Tube Radio Network, maybe on C4FM. Through the link-ups that way. We can try that as well. Over to SWL 59. And Levon says he's awake. All right. At 4:30 in the morning, I used to do a really early shift at the TV station where we had to be there at 3 in the morning. So 4:30 was 4:30 was no deal. But I'm not there anymore. I'm at a radio station where you don't need to be there at 4:30 in the morning. Everything's automated these days, except for the MMM video gates and the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go over to SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it, evening time, all the fellas out there. SWL 60 checking in on this 955 Stryker radio.
Stryker sounding good. Boy, that does a good job on AM. I'm not sure if that's its forte, probably sideband, but it does a good job on AM. We've got you checked in.
Oh, thank you much here, Dennis. Doggone it, I don't see much difference on AM or sideband with this radio. But anyway, thanks, and evening time to you.
Right, good evening, right back. Thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight, where the real radios will soon be glowing in the dark. Let's go to SWL 61. All right, I hear you, Dean, through my big noise level tonight. I don't know what's up, but you are there as always. We've got you checked in. Thanks. Over to SWL 62, King Duckford. I thought I saw KD out there in North Dakota over on Old Radio Night, but I have not seen him on the list here tonight. So I'll get him checked in. Trying to refresh the pages. I need an extra hand, I think, to click all these buttons I need to click. I'm waiting for the tube radio so I can relax a little bit. SWL 63. That's Butterbean was in Old Radio ORN tonight, so North Georgia, we've got you checked in. Over to SWL 64. SWL 65. Shortwave Listener 66. Up in Canby, SWL 67 has always let me in the door tonight, helped getting things set up. It took a while. I moved stuff around, and John knows this. Motormouth Mall knows this perfectly. I had everything set up, and I added a new piece of equipment, and I moved some stuff 2 feet. I made sure the ground wires were on, and here comes just weird stuff and little RF things that aren't supposed to be there, and I'm thinking, is that what happens when you move things 2 feet? But I think I got it all straightened out. You know, it gets complicated when you start adding more than one radio and one microphone. But that's part of the fun. Let's go over to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny's in from Tulsa. Checked in earlier. If you're watching the replay, Kenny, hello to you. And thanks for joining us as always. We miss you. We'll be looking for you when Cycle 25 comes in, blasting in. Tulsa should come in really good here in Central California. Over to SWL 70. And I think Jimmy's in 34. Let me go up the scroll a little bit, and I'll give a shot here. We'll see. I'm going to try it a different way here. I got to find the microphone. All right, here we go. See if we can get 34 checked in, Railroader. And that's still not the right whistle. I need to do that da, 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 da. I need to do the cue. Anyway, Jimmy and Little Toot, thanks for jumping by. I know it's late there. Out there near Chicago, in Batavia. And there's Butterbean as well. At 63, I got you checked in. It's probably got lag on my tragic internet connection here. So 3463, thanks for checking in. SWL 64. And did I ever say you don't need a number to do this? You don't need a number. There's no secret handshake, right? There's no deuce. It's the L2 Radio Network. You just pop on and take a transmission or say hello. That's the way we've been doing it for 36 years, right? It's what radio is. Let's look for SWL 65. We already did that. Let's try Stan is saying, which way are you going? We're going in reverse. SWL 71. Stan up there in Dallas, Georgia, who is listening in tonight, Mr. Microphonium on his meme with the cool RCA 44 microphonium, the ribbon microphonium. We just refurbed a DX or RCA 77 DX. That's the one that looks like the big chrome sausage, right? But we put the new ribbon in it and cleaned it up, and it is looking and sounding good. I have to get one of those here. I tried one of those. You know what happens with the ribbon microphone? If you have any type of wind, any type of air conditioning or evaporative cooling, all you hear is coming through that ribbon. You got to be careful. Let's go over to SWL 72. Shortwave Listener 73. We've got a check-in for SWL 74. Hello, Miss Jilly. SWL 75. Shortwave Listener 77. Got a proxy in for Dennis. Over to SWL 78. I see Temecula. I don't know if I always think that's Wildemar on the thing. So I'm going to get Richard checked in. If 75 meters was working, hear that? That's a carrier. We got some AM guys on 3885, but they're on the East Coast, and my antenna's not good. And if that's a carrier here on the West Coast at 3870, not doing too good. But here on 27085, well, we've got some good AM. We've got some classic radios coming up, so stay tuned for that. Over to SWL 79. SWL 80. And let's go, before we flip the page, let's see what Bob and Steve are doing.
27.0850 TR, channel 11.
The Bob and Steve show, the portion of the net here where we find out what is happening over in the green room that many of you visit on your way to the Old Tube Radio Network air chair. Hello to Chaska, Minnesota, just tuning in up in the balcony, peeking around the Old Tube Radio Network. It's 10:46, 52 degrees, and Chaska, city in Carver County, Minnesota. The population was about 28,000 outside there of Minneapolis, St. Paul. What is happening in the green room tonight? Bob and Steve, the Jingle Singers are again coming live from the pool. They like the pool. It was 80 degrees today. It was 80 degrees up on the pool. So I'm not surprised that they are out and about doing the thing at the pool tonight. When they poured the concrete for the pool, they not only ran power lines and coax to each table. Remember, there are 33 tables out there, but they put in there's something with that 33 number. They put in 3,333 feet of solid copper half-inch ground for the ground planes. I was wondering why, when I went to Home Depot a couple weeks ago, that the shelves were bare for all the copper wire. So solid copper, half-inch for the ground plane. The water pipes helps also. So people will be checking in from poolside tonight using the cobweb antenna. They've added the slinky dipole antenna for all bands over the pool. They were playing with that slinky earlier. I said, no, that's the antenna. So they had to put it back up on the rack. And it says the city of Fresno made us add lights to the top of the tower. Some airplanes were getting kind of close. All good to know. You know, if you are, that's what the radio guys do. They make their towers 199 feet. If they're not within the flight path, they get onto that 200-foot thing, and then they don't have to put tower lights on them. At the pool tonight from Seasons 52 in Sacramento, up there with Gary. He must know Seasons 52. Seafood. And join us after the net. And as always, don't forget to feed the fish on your Old Tube Radio Network.
27.0850 TR, channel 11.
Now that was definitely an old buzzard transmission. SWL 81, Steve Areno, Mr. Unicorn, and there he is right on the screen. Hey, Steve, good to have you online tonight. I know it is late there, but I'm glad you were staying up late joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We're glad to have you, and glad you could check in. You've got the X and the square. Where is it? It's right up there, right above my head somewhere. It says you're checked in. Over to SWL 82. Ron gets a check-in. He is probably out at the racetrack. That is the circular racetrack with the diesel engines. Mr. Bones runs the ditch band's sideband net that happens Friday evenings here in Central California. It's on Channel 36 lower sideband, 27,365. That is at 8 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. Everybody's welcome. As they say on radio, join us, won't you, on the Ditch Bank's sideband net for your sideband pleasure on Friday evenings. And he's got a great radio and a great antenna. He hears everybody that tries to come in. So get out there. Over to SWL 83. SWL 84 checking in. 84, Cheerios Kid, and the ceremoniously lighting, if I can reach it, of the, there it is, it still works. It's got that little delay when you click the switch, click, boom, the light comes on. You think, okay, all is well. There's the Johnson Messenger 223 in the background, looking good, making net control look good here tonight. Got you checked in, Jerry. Over to SWL 85. And yeah, I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking soon, and we'll check in those radios. If you're watching the replay of the video, yeah, you can you can scroll through, but you'll miss the SWLs. Let's go to 86, 87, and 88. That's Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl, respectively. SWL 89. SWL 90. SWL 91, Felix, out in the Bronx, up there in New York, who was the first one to always make sure that the video is up. I get the check mark from Felix, and I know that I have not pressed the wrong button, or the video is doing what it is. But Felix is out there tonight saying everything is good, checking in, and saying hello to all the radio operators and SWLs. Thanks, Felix. Over to SWL 92. And say hello to Charlie Hustle 55 from cold Baltimore. Is it 55 degrees in Baltimore? I bet it's at least 55. Woodland Park, Colorado has the beams pointed our way. Listening for that sporadic E-skip. I don't know if we're going to have it tonight, but Woodland Park's up in the balcony. Over to SWL 92. Shortwave Listener 93. SWL 95. Did I see 90? Yeah, Warthog 95. Checking in from Orlando, Florida, where things are always nice out there in Orlando. I have not been listening into the, Hole in the Wall net on 7188. See if I can hear Mal out there in Hollywood, Florida on, I don't even know what he's running. I don't think he's running the FT102. Thanks, Warthog. Got you checked in. Let's go to Kerman, SWL 96. I think Prune Pricker said to check him in. I will do that. Over to Boston, 97, SWL 97. It was 5 years ago, last week or this week, when I was in Boston. I never go anywhere. I rarely make it to the local supermarket. I was in Boston for a week, learning how to use the subways out there. So Boston 97, if you're listening, you're out there doing Big Dig number 2. Let's go to SWL 98. And I probably won't hear Tracy through the noise. Tracy, if you're listening, I'll get you checked in. I think you said you were actually back. You were actually back at the control point, which is a good thing. Good to have you out and back in the Radio Shack. So I got you checked in, Tracy, if you are listening. Over to SWL 99. And SWO 100, I don't see Tony in. I think he was in earlier. No, I don't think he was at all. But that is Tony out of McClellanville, South Carolina, because the other Tony is, I think he's checking in remotely. So we'll catch Tony, Corsical Tony, coming up here in just a little bit. Radios are coming up. I'm trying to make the deadline here. I'm like, where's the? I've got the. That didn't work. It's over here. I've got the train is going. Let's go to SWL 103. And Cornbread says tonight's the night to do the moon bounce. I do not have. Well, I should check. My Starduster might be listing at 45 degrees. Maybe I am moon bouncing and I don't even know it. Over to SWL 109. SWL 110. SWL 111, Robert. We've got you checked in. He is on the mend, as it were, or mending. Robert's a tough guy. So when he beats up all the people that are causing him problems. It's not people, but when he gets through with all those things that are causing him grief, he will be back in the mix here, because he doesn't stand too long for things that are not supposed to be. So he's working on that. Robert, thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
Hey, sounding good. Good to have you back. You sounded great on the sideband net last week, and I hope you had a good, relaxing respite out there. I always say it was Don Deacon used to say he was transmitting out there in Berenda Slough. So wherever you were, glad to have you back. Sounding good.
Thank you. Good to be back. Enjoying myself.
That's what you should do. We should all be able to enjoy ourselves once in a while. We will be doing that with our radios coming up. We go over to Shortwave Listener 128. I am looking to see, I probably need to refresh my page up here. So 128, if you're out there, don't fret. I will get you checked in. Over to SWL 131. And I see a comment. 226 is up on the hill. Listening, beaconing. We're coming up to a shockwave in just a moment. SWL 133. Try it, Dave. I've got a big noise level. All right, you made it through. I heard you. I'm going to have to hear the replay because I could hear you come through. But, man, I've got at least another S unit of noise that I don't normally have. That's not a good thing. Thank you, Dave, out there in Northwest Fresno. Over to Shortwave Listener 135. I got to get 135 checked in. I will do that as per the request. SWL 137. SWL 1, gotta hit the right button here. 145. Oh, that's Tony. Let me try the echo link. Usually I have to fire. Usually I need to fire up the echo link because of the delay. But Tony is out there listening. So let's see if Tony is in on the echo link. AJ6PD from KB6GFD. Over.
KB6GFD, AJ6PD, 145, checking in and checking out.
Hey, that's the way to do it. Tony knows. He's a net controller, and when you've got a long net and a lot of people standing in line, you've got to make sure that you get them all in the way they have. So Tony checking in from the remote location. He's not near the coil. Basically, his coiled cord microphone isn't quite long enough to reach through. Thanks, Tony. Boy, that was a loud echo link. I think you... I think you gave the Wheatstone a run for its money on that one. Thanks for your checking in. KB6GFD. Next, we have Kakalaki 147. Neil is in. Moments ago, I think you scrolled off my screen. I'll see if I can find you. Checking in from Kakalaki. The weather unseasonably warm. We had a warm spell today. Then we had some seasonably cool weather. But out there in Kakalaki, unseasonably warm, cooling off tomorrow, and the radios are very quiet, as they were today, as they are now, except with the exception of all the static. Thanks, Neil, for checking in. Let's go over to a guy that can crash through. He will give Motormouth Mall a run for his money with the Gizmochi Beam. SWL 188. And I wonder how it fared in all the wind. Good, I hope. Up to Coarse Gold. I hope I can hear you, Jim. I've got a lot of noise. SWL 195. Okay, you are in there. Noise is still in there, but I've got you. 195 up in Coarse Gold. Thanks, Coarse Gold Starliner. Thanks, Jim. And then Mr. Shockwave up on the hill. If he's still there, if not, I've got you. You checked in, Jeff. Over. All right, surprised you can hear me, and yeah, my noise level is messing things up tonight. Maybe I need to open up the RF gain. I've got it cranked to get rid of the noise, but maybe I've got it closed up too much. I will fix that when we go to the tube radios, and we're doing that now. Hello to Tango Mike 339, also as well, our Miami, Florida station joining us, and the anybody else before we head to those tube radios. All right, stand by. I've got to run around like I always do and connect some wires and disconnect some clip leads, and when we back, we will do what we do best, and that is let the tube radios take over the net here. We'll find out who's doing what, who's got the big tubes, the big power, and hopefully we'll get some of your favorite radios checking in tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network is standing by, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. This is indeed the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you on
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
And not only are we brought to you by radio, but tonight we are brought to you by your radio. Your tube radios, your classic collection. We appreciate everybody who's taken time out of their Saturday evening to jump into the Radio Shack and give us a blast or two on classic radios from 1958 to about 1978, when for some reason they just stopped making those, but they are around alive and well tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, my name is Dennis, the net controller for the evening here on the Old Tube Radio Network, and the stars of the show have arrived. Those are the classic tube radios, so let me stop talking, and I will say the Old Tube Radio Network is listening for your radio check-ins. And we'll take that one right there. Hello, Paul, SWL45. I hope you can hear me. It's a little rough on my end, but I hear you fine. We've got that extra S unit of noise, but that won't dampen the spirit when we find out what kind of tube radio you have for us tonight. Over to you, 45. Over, out. The classic Regency Imperial, my first tube radio that I acquired probably back in 1972. The radio that I started with on the old Tube Radio Network back ever so long ago, and the radio that, if I'm lucky, I will get back on the air. Let's bring a larger picture. What is it? The push-pull 6B25s with some great audio, and that's helping out. That's helping out on my end. Take a transmission. Yeah, double sideband. Back in 66, 67, the Tram Titan 2, trying to get sideband into the tube radios. The import radios were coming in. The Kenwoods and the Yaesus, the FT101 series, and you know, sideband was also big in the amateur radio world, although they weren't typically doing double sideband. This was one of the first ones to introduce that, and it kind of followed because this radio was already double sideband suppressed carrier, where you were cutting down your unmodulated carrier to about 1.5 watts, but using that nice full power to get back up to your 4 or 5 watts of audio, and the 6BQ5 push-pull audio did that. A cool radio. It had a way to tune the finals to get max output. You could crank that thing way down to 100 milliwatts and talk to the walkie-talkies on channel 14. It was crystal controlled, of course, so rockbound on the sideband. Typically, channel 16 is where we went on sideband, and you were double sideband, meaning they take out the carrier on the channel, and your lower sideband and upper sidebands are there, and then whoever you're talking to just listens to whichever one they want to be on, lower upper, and then you do the same thing with your lower and upper receive, and away you go. Take another transmission. It's sounding good. You know, Paul, you're not even registering on the S meter, but I hear your audio, and that's what that radio is supposed to do, just have full bore audio. Very nice radio. One of our SWLs commenting, Uncle Helbrell, saying that's a work of art right there, and it is. It has that gold bezel across the front. It's got the metal cabinet. The knobs are all gold, the imperial and the crown. It's got the selectable S meter from SVC. That was the S meter, the voltage, and the current. You turn it to the current and dip your final on the transmit. The other thing it had that was cool that I remember, when you transmit, it had a light that would come on the S meter that would turn red. It had dual lights, and when you transmit, the red light would come on. When you were not transmitting, you'd have the frosted light come on. 23 channels. Let's see, what else? What else can I tell you? And they had some adjustments on the side. Oh, you talked about the microphone. That's the microphone that came with mine. I used to run it with the +2. Which probably isn't the best microphone for that. D104 is probably good. When I get it back up and running, I never had it in the audio board. That's pre-audio board days, but I have a feeling with a little bit of compression and some limiting, you can make that double sideband suppressed carrier do quite nice. If you can hear me, Paul, take another transmission, and you are right. I'm definitely enjoying the Imperial. All right, appreciate you coming by, and I apologize. When you hear the playback, you're going to say, what's wrong with the radio? Absolutely nothing is wrong with the radio. I have about a 2 S-unit higher noise level, and your radio is making it through all of it because of the great audio. And when I showed the S meter there a little bit back, it wasn't. It was all solid noise, but we could definitely hear the radio as well. So it's doing a good job. Radio number 1's getting us started off tonight. The Regency Imperial double sideband AM radio from late '66, 1967. They made that for about a year and a half, and then they came out with the Imperial 2 with a few improvements. It's a 13-tube radio, so you have the product detector on the 12BE6 that helps with that, with your receive. And I think the, what's the output modulator? 6AQ5 for the double 6AQ5. Jimmy, 3840, says he found one of those, or got one of those about 10 years ago, brand new in the box. That doesn't sound possible. That would be good. It would have that new old radio smell. 12-volt DC. Well, yeah, we'll do 12-volt DC. I want to talk a little bit because I had one. I used to run mine mobile in my Buick Riviera. I kid you not. You run it, and it's got the vibrator. So you turn it on, you wait for the to kind of go away, and away you go. So you run it on 12 volts and key it up, and you're good to go, sideband or AM. You can find out more about it on Sam's photo fax if you got number 21 on page 87. Thanks, Paul. The Old Tube Radio Network, let's hear from the Jingle Singers. They are out by the poolside tonight. It's still a nice evening, not too cold, a good time.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are looking for radio number 2. Yeah, it's just noisy out there. I'm listening in on 75 meters. The East Coast AM guys are out there. It's even staticky there, but I'm getting an S7, S9. So they're doing okay. And Dwayne says sometimes he does 36, 38 on the, I don't know if that's, AM. Those guys get on in the morning, I think. I'll have to listen, Dwayne. I'll have to listen down there on 36, 38. I know they used to have a Sunday morning thing going on. And some other items of interest. Okay, let me stop talking and say we are looking for radio number 2 here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
135.
Hey, 135 is there, and let me come on up to the air chair, Cliff, and let me make a comment. Thanks, 23 Skidoo, about the Imperial double sideband on transmit, pulling out the central carrier, but it does receive single sideband. When you put the switch to LSB or USB, what you are doing is selecting the sideband on which it receives, although it will be transmitting both sidebands. And I used to get into trouble back on Channel 16 when they just started using the VFOs and the sliders, and you'd have people sliding up, or no, they'd be sliding down, I guess, to the 15 side or the RC channel, and you'd be on this 6 kc wide double sideband rig, and the guys always hated when you'd come in and mess channel up a little bit, but that's the way it was on the double sideband transmitter. Also, hello to S9 Radio. Greg is tuning in from Southern California. It has been the doldrums out here with Skip last couple of days. Greg has a great map, a great way to check the DX cloud. out there in the WikiWack land. So thanks, Greg, for joining us. And I bet Cliff is at the air chair. Hello, radio.
Oh, it's a spooky key up. Yeah, SWL 135 here. Is it time to go yet? I'm sorry I'm late.
Hey, no problem. I'll get you checked in on the SWL side, which we did not do earlier. We got it proxied, but I figured you would be up and running, which you are now, and we will go over to the radio side and see what you have for us over.
Yeah, I wonder what this is. I'm pretty sure you can guess at least what kind of radio it is and where it's from. If I remember correctly, it's Laconia, New Hampshire. And this is the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Two-piece separate transmitter and receiver with on-the-air light. Back to you.
Back to me in the studio. It is a treat, and it does not often happen. We see this radio a lot. For those that are at oldtuberadio.net looking at the photo, or over on the YouTube side. Obviously, if 27085, you're hearing the radio and you know how good it sounds. But the radio that we often show for the Mark III is the one we've got up right now. And unfortunately, somehow the tag got changed. But this is the radio from Cliff's collection, the radio on which he's talking. The one that has... Does it still have the Browning, the Browning Eagle, the Golden Eagle microphonium?
Let's see, if I recall the picture correctly, that's the Golden Eagle microphone by A-Static. It's a D104, but this is not that. I'm on the original banana-type Browning microphone. It's, let's see, who made these things? I think it's Electro Voice made these things, but it's got the Browning colors and the Browning logo on the front of the microphone.
Still good. Still doing the nice Browning audio. Looking on the table here. I like the table. It's sort of like this Formica thing. So it goes well with the 1970s radio. The Browning Golden Eagle. Do you ever recall when we were doing the Friday night sideband nets? Did you bring that by and key it up on 11 sideband?
I think I did one time, and then they didn't seem to do it anymore. They, like I think you pointed out before, they're on 36 now, right?
Yeah, different group. I mean, still sideband and still, get on the air night for sideband, but we purposely. And gosh, this is 15 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe 20 years ago. I don't know. Purposely, of course, did it on Channel 11 so that radios such as that, and I think yours is unmodified, that would go up to Channel 23 would have a place to transmit. I suppose we could have done it on Channel 16, which might have been more apropos because that was sort of the sideband channel back at that time. But I think here locally, there was a lot of traffic on 16, so we just kept it on 11.
There's just a nice normal ping. This is unmodified, so yeah, you can't go up there to the new channel. But it is very, very difficult to tune on sideband. It's very finicky, but it does work. And incidentally, I can use this one still to listen up there. This has the HF selector on the receiver, so I can actually go up there and listen. But I can't talk there. Anyway, let's see, there's 21 tubes in this thing. And it has the reverse on-the-air light. Anything I'm forgetting?
Oh, boy, I don't think so. Oh, let me put the close-up. You mentioned tuning. What's really cool about the transmitter on this, and Browning got away with it because they were smart. It actually allows you to rock, I'll call it to rock the crystal. It's crystal controlled. It's not a VFO, but it's got the plus or minus, and I think it's 700 cycles high and low, which was what the FCC allowed you to, the tolerance level for your crystal to be out. So Browning was smart enough to say, well, we can go and rock that crystal minus or plus 700, and that is really what you need when you're talking sideband more than, two people, or you want to be on the same frequency as your other station, so you can match your transmit to the receive and the receive to the transmit. So that, I think, that is one of the coolest features about the Browning. Also, we'll address this for the purists. I don't think anybody is shouting out, but for the purists, there is a knob that says SWR on there. Can you address that? That is obviously not a factory thing. Maybe you don't even know how it got there.
It's a little low on that one. Excuse me. Yes, the extra knob on the transmitter has been changed. I really should put a new picture up there. It has been improved and remodified. You're talking about the one just to the left of the mic jack, right? And that is now the mic gain control. Used to be the SWR control, which is back where it ought to be now, which is over there, a second knob from the right on the transmitter. Somebody had tried to at least to heavily modify the transmitter, and Harvey was very instrumental in helping return this back to normal operation, because whatever they were using is gone. I think somebody modified it for 40-channel transmit, and like the VFO and whatever else was involved in all that was gone, and all that was left was a lot of weird modifications hanging around on things. Some crystals here and swapped out knobs there. But yeah, that's the story with that. It's now a mic gain control. So I don't end up with, a big hole in the front of the transmitter. I was thinking of just putting a sticker over it, but I thought this was a better idea.
Yeah, and it's more functional. Like you said, it has the SWR already in there somewhere. Who is it? Joey L says his Mark III has that SWR knob. So maybe that was one of those, in a book modification somewhere, where if you wanted to pull it out and do something, it seems like it makes more sense to have, if you're going to have a knob there, to have it mic gain rather than a hole. Went to the S meter. You are actually showing up over the noise, doing a good job. Audio is superb for the Mark III SSB. Their top-of-the-line, Browning's top-of-the-line radio from 1972. Well, what was that? To 1976. My J38 key is dying here. Let me do a lock to talk. 1972 to 1976. The price anywhere from the high 600s to the high 700s, depending on what year and when you bought it. Some people's favorite Browning. Some people like the 4. Some people like the 2. But just about everybody likes a Browning radio. Thanks for bringing it by. I'm glad you got on that one tonight.
As I wanted to make the spooky noises with it, I'll get back to more spooky magic eyes in future editions. It looks like I'm about right on frequency too, which, as you mentioned before, yeah, you can adjust. I thought that was a cool feature too. You gotta do 700 hertz up, 700 hertz down, which is it's fine for AM here, but it's really kind of crucial when you're on sideband. You really got to zero yourself in so that people can find you anyway. And it's a whole lot of radio. It's occupying the whole tabletop here tonight out here in the CB Cabana. I'm glad it's sounding okay. Hopefully a little bit mellower audio here with the banana mic than with the D104. I'll have to try that again sometime. See just how screechy it is. I still have that golden D104, but the general consensus was people like the audio out of this better. So I thought I'd check it in. And I believe it is the mic that it was originally issued with. Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll catch you next week.
Okay, I believe you are correct. If you look at the advertisements, it will show with the 667, or whatever the number was for that mic, that style of microphonium. Sounds good. The audio is good. I apologize to our SWLs listening in on the streams for the my poor receive tonight. And normally I don't have a lot of noise, but boy, tonight it's just in there. I have these stations like Cliff, who are normally full quieting, are overriding the noise. So that's a testament to their great radios, especially like Paul, when you can have S8 noise and he comes in at S8 in the noise, and all we hear is audio from the Regency, and lots of audio from the Golden Eagle Mark III SSBR radio number 2 tonight. Thanks for bringing it by the Old Tube Radio Network listening, and we'll head over to the jingle singers here at the bottom of the hour on your Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Hopefully the station for you on the Old Tube Radio Network, 27085. We are in Central California. There are no DX conditions at all tonight, but our radio operators here locally are joining us with their classic radios from 1958 to about 1978. We've been doing this for about, well over 35 years. On a Saturday evening, we enjoy the company, and this is CB radio like it was. A lot of you remember how it used to be. The Old Tube Radio Network, listening for radio number 3. All right, there was a station. I don't know if I had 2 stations or not. The station that was trying take a transmission. Boy, I'm hearing a tone or something. Anybody else? I think that's Paul. Anybody else copying that? Okay, that's good. The tone is gone. I hear your audio now over. Okay, and again, I apologize. Man, the noise is just crazy tonight. Air Castle 23-02. Let me go to the big Rolodex file here, spin it around, and see if I can't pull out the Air Castle card for the 2302. Hey, look at that. And it even says it's from your collection. Let me bring it up here. I recognize that chassis, and it should do well. I think that might even be plate modulated. Take a transmission. I'll try and get you through the noise, but it's working now over. Indeed, that is the version of the Fannin Courier with the name Air Castle, and I want to say that was that a Montgomery Ward's brand? or branded by Montgomery Words from, like, J.C. Penney's had radios, and Sears rebranded the E.F. Johnson. Olson rebranded Regency's things as well. 11 tubes, that's got the 6 BQ5 audio as well. And it's coming through tonight, but I believe that is the Fannin Courier chassis. Take a transmission. Again, I apologize if you're listening to the replay. My noise is making your normally full quieting signal not so good as it is, but we're hearing you 100% over. Yeah, go ahead, Paul. Over. Yeah, go ahead, Paul. Over. All right, thanks for bringing it by. All right, 23 Skidoo, as always, has come to the rescue to Net Control, who's giving out the wrong information tonight. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, that has the same signal. I think the audio on the Regency was just a little bit sharper and clearer. I can't tell signal-wise because of my noise, but I can hear both of them quite as well. But I think the Regency might have an edge. All right, let me recalibrate here. The Aircastle 2302, 1971, 1972. It was the Panasonic chassis, and I mistakenly said Montgomery Wards, but it was from Spiegel of Chicago. Believe it or not, it's a Spiegel catalog. Remember that when Steve Allen used to say, Spiegel, Chicago, Illinois, 60609. Well, there it is. If you had that Spiegel catalog 60609 and you went to their radio section, you would probably see the Aircastle, and no doubt this one might have been purchased through the catalog. On the 11 tubes, second generation Panasonic chassis, doing quite nice. Thanks for bringing it by, Paul. Over. Oh, and Paul, I know you mentioned it, but take another transmission. Give us a break here. Take another transmission and tell us the microphonium you are running with the Fannin. Over. I'm sorry, with the Aircastle. Over. All right, was that the +2 or the +3? Over. Which Turner? Was it the +2 or the +3? I should have known that. You've said that many times. Turner +3. One of our SWLs wanted to know because it is making it through my giant static level quite nicely. Test. I'm looking to see if I have some SWR issues here. I'm going to have to go up on the roof. Not playing the pool. Go up on the roof, check the Starduster, and maybe I need to hook into that grounding system that we have out there, the 3,333 feet of wire. Thanks, Paul, for radio number 3 on the, let me get this right, the Aircastle 2302, courtesy of Spiegel Catalog and courtesy of the Jingle Singers that get me out of this mess. We'll be back in about 20 seconds.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Listening for radio number 4. All right, we got that breaker now. Hello, Mr. Harvey. I can hear you if you can hear me. Over. All right, Harvey, you have me playing with every control on my receiver, the notch filter, the DSP, the EQ, trying to help that thing out. And I've got some questions for you. I think I found the picture. Before I'm going to take a quick break here. Are you on the Realistic Selecticom? Over. Okay. No, we're doing good. I think because you're using the Harvey Range Boost, it's adding a tone. It's adding, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. It's adding something that I have a feeling isn't there, but I think that's part of the Range Boost. So you got to keep the Range Boost on, or I won't hear you. I won't hear you at a quarter of a watt. Not with the noise level tonight. So I've got it pretty good. I've done some noise reduction and some notch filtering, which affects the audio a little bit, but I want to hear what you're saying because it's interesting. I found the Realistic Selecticom picture, and let me get into the thing. It says dual CB wireless intercom. So there's dictate, listen, and talk. This to me looks like the most confusing radio on earth. So how do you know when you want it to be an intercom, and how do you know when you want it to be a radio? But you have certainly done that. And I'm thinking that maybe this was purposely done for like a warehouse situation or something, depending on if you wanted to talk to somebody at the other desk or you wanted to talk to the stations out, driving the forklifts or something. But you have managed to actually get it on the air here in Beacon, miles across town, over. No, I think you can go back because we need the more audio. The tone is there, and Dwayne says it sounds like RF shielding, which I think is what is happening because of the range boost. So, maybe one of those things, if you place your hand on the right spot, it'll take the tone away. But we're actually hearing you not too bad. So I think if you go back to the way it was, you'd be good to take a transmission over. All right, yeah, you touched something there. That put a big hum. So whatever you touched just moments ago, don't do that. Over. All right, good deal. I have two questions, and try and keep the answers quick, just so we'll be able to hear you. And you may have said this before. We're not seeing a microphone in the picture, so I'm thinking it's a speaker microphone. But I believe you said did I understand correctly, you wired a microphone into that? Is that correct? Over? Okay, perfect. Still hearing you good. It's actually getting a little bit better in the transmit. And then the other thing, we're seeing the rod antenna. I'm sure it's a telescopic antenna, and it was a portable radio. And I'm thinking it's more than 100 milliwatts, so it had to be licensed. It is tubes. I may be wrong about that, but it was more than 100 milliwatts. You would have had to have a license. So, riddle me this in 25 words or less. Is there an external antenna jack on that, or did you rig something up so that you could wire an SO239 or get your external antenna into that radio over? All right, got it. A lot of extra work. We're glad you did that, and I wish if I was not having my extra S unit of noise, I think you'd be pretty much good and full quieting. The realistic Selecticom, a strange hybrid of something. It works, it's tubed, and it's on the Old Tube Radio Network. It's a project on Harvey's table, and no doubt we will be hearing more from it in future episodes of the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for bringing it by. Okay, I'm going to take... It's a little quiet. Yeah, a little quiet transmission here. Let your ears stop ringing from the noise. I forgot to do the sponsor pendant. The pocket protector fits in the corduroy jacket here tonight. So let me quickly, while we have a few moments here, put in tonight's sponsor, Brills, B-R-I-L-Z, Brills TV service. I wonder if Brills TV service used the realistic Selecticom radio to talk back, to their techs in the back, saying, we need another 6JS6. Brills TV service at 1110 and a half. Don't you love that? Maybe it was upstairs or off to the side. 1110 and a half North 14th Street in Bismarck, North Dakota, 701 area code. So that is, I'm just letting everybody's ears get back to normal from all the noise and screeching. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network is standing by quietly. $837, stand by while I disconnect a whole bunch of noise things that I put on my radio so that you will sound good. Hello, Chris.
Hello. You want me to wait?
No, go ahead. I'll undo them as you speak.
Well, okay. This is SWL37, Chris. We would like to check in our radio here, the General radio telephone, the Super MC11A, a 24-channel version of this, with the original handheld stock microphone. Over.
Sounds good. General radio telephone. You are definitely above my noise. I've got a picture of that radio. We will put it up. And, you know, the radio is sounding good for a radio that is just coming up on 40 years. And the operator, who's got another 30 years on the radio, is sounding pretty good as well. Over.
33 years.
Yeah, another 33 years on the radio is sounding good as well. Over.
Yeah, that comes up as your number, 33.
It does. All right, I'm trying to get the picture. There it goes. We couldn't get rid of the realistic. Now we've got the Super MC11A that has a little bit more power, a few more knobs, and reminds me, actually, of a CB radio. Over.
You know, my goodness, you know what, Dennis? I think you're right. This is a CB radio, but it's a tuber.
You know, and so was that plastic, realistic Selecticom, because this is the old tube radio network. It's Saturday night, and we like the tubes. Over.
Oh, we all like tubes. I like tubes. Even if it was newer, I'd still like tubes.
And a lot of things had tubes back in the day. Tubes have that great smell when you turn them on as they burn off the dust.
Okay. You know, years back, I don't know if you remember one of the guys here in town, lived not very far from me, was Chris, the pilot, went by, what was his handle? I can't remember what his handle is offhand, but you remember him years ago back in, early 90s and so?
You know, I will say I vaguely remember him so that you can keep the conversation going. Go ahead.
Anyway, he's a pilot for, well, he was working for United. He's working for another one now. He just finally reached out to me here about a month ago, and I just thought I'd bring it up. And he is the one who bought my 101E, which we thought was a double E. It was a E. He was the one that bought it, and he still has it.
Yeah, those radios built like a brick. Great on AM as long as you keep the carrier down, because you will definitely flatten those sweep tubes in there. And pretty good on AM. It's a little narrow-banded, but it has some really, really good mods on the AM. That is for the AM guys that run the big iron. You do some of the WA1HLR Timtron mods, and you basically had a broadcast sounding transmitter. So good deal. But you know what? You've got the Super MC11A, and that's the one that's on our list tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, anyway, I just let you know I talked to him. He's up in Oregon, but yes, I do have the tubes tonight. I got to warm up another one, so I haven't checked it in a while. So I'll check this other one in here in just a minute. Well, give me at least 5 minutes I got to plug it in.
Hey, not a problem. We've got another 8 minutes to go on the old Tube Radio Network, and yeah, if you ever catch him or something, or he pops in, of course, let him know on Saturday evenings. No matter where you are, you can listen into the old Tube Radio Network at oldtuberadio.net. YouTube video might be up and running if my stuff isn't broken. And good deal. You are radio, did I write it down? Yes. You are radio number 5 on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Thanks.
You bet, Dennis.
And let me get the right thing here. Uncle Hairball, if you're listening, Harvey, one of our listeners said they worked at a dairy back in the day when tubes were all the rage, and they had those realistics. The offices, the freezer. that poor little telescopic antenna was probably doing a number in the freezer, and the cooler were across the parking lot from each other, so made it through all the stainless steel of the dairy and everything else. All right. Well, it's good to know that they basically serve the purpose, sort of like an intercom, a wireless intercom system back in the day, if you will. And I'll have to check with Harvey if those were 100 milliwatts or less, because otherwise they would have been licensed. And in theory, you would have had to say KO8492 bays to Unit 2 in the freezer. The Old Tube Radio Network, we are standing by listening for radio number 5. Yeah, I can do that. I can turn it down a little bit until we get somebody on the line here.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
And I'm not even hearing anything on HF. I wonder if I've got... if I've gone into a black hole time warp. Are the bands really that bad tonight?
My bad. You're thinking of Tampa Rick.
Somebody at 3892, just barely in there. OTR counting and amounting, but we have room for radios on the list. We're listening. This is the good thing frequency. Did you hear my comment about the station that actually, or the listener that actually had those realistics in a dairy they worked at long ago? Yeah, when I finally found the photo and put it up there, Uncle Hairball said, "Oh my gosh!" And it's like those are the radios we had the dairy back when he was 16. He said they had them in the offices and the coolers and the freezers, and those were across the parking lot. So if they were 100 milliwatts, they probably worked okay. But I think you said they were more power than that, right? Okay, I don't remember if it would say on the back which part 15 or part 95 it would be to be unlicensed, but I'm thinking maybe that was sold as an unlicensed thing, and that might have been a selling point as well. Okay, I was thinking it's big enough. Maybe they had a big row of like D-cell batteries you put in there that makes the thing 9 pounds more. Breakers, head up onto the air chair. We'll get you here in just a moment, Chris. You will be Radio 6. And 23 Skidoo at the files, letting us know that for a 100 milliwatt CB/intercom, that no license was needed, so the FCC operating rules did not apply. So you could use your you could use your handle instead of your call letters, right? From the freezer, Chili Willy would be talking to Slurpy Bass from the milking station. Hello, Chris.
And hello, Dennis. SWL37 here would like to check in a radio.
All right, we'll help you check in a radio. Right now, the one on our screen is the prior general radio telephone from your collection, so I will clear that and tell us what you've got now. Over.
Okay, well, this time here, we got the easy one. This is a Chris 23 Plus CB transceiver. A tuber that goes in the dark with the original handheld stock microphone. Over.
Which I think you mentioned before that we decided that probably was the best sounding microphonium with that radio. I'm getting my echo again. I'll be signing off in not too long, so sorry if it's echoing out there. Chris 23 Plus, I think we are looking at yet again at another Panasonic second generation chassis. It looks like Chris didn't pay the big money. They didn't get all the extra lights and the range boosts that the other ones got. They're probably just hanging in there with little wires. They didn't pay the extra $10 to Panasonic to put them on the front. But it is a cool looking radio, and it is getting out like a Panasonic chassis should. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dennis. No, I haven't turned this on. Actually, before I changed it, had the whole radio room completely tore up here. I finally got it all, actually, better than what I did before. All lined up a whole lot nicer, so I feel a little bit better. So I thought I would at least get this checked in since we got all the flooring in. And yeah, hey, started off right. Over.
That's the way to do it. There was a couple stations that mentioned they were redoing the radio rooms. I often am ready to tear my radio room up, especially just hours before OTR starts when I try setting things up and nothing works anywhere close to the way it worked last week. And strange things happen. So, just like put in the two pieces of things that I need to do OTR, and all the rest of it would be empty shelves. But sometimes it works. Chris 23 Plus, make that modulation light blink one more time.
Okay, well, it's blinking. And I was going to ask you since, what was it you said, oh gosh, what was it? I lost it now. It's hell getting old, Dennis. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, so, hey, no big deal, but it's working. Oh, you said your radio station isn't working as good as it was last week. Well, was it working as good last week as it was the week before that?
I don't know. What I do is I'll go back and watch the videos, and I'll just cringe. Like, why did it sound like that? How come? What I do like, though, is listening to the radios and think the radio, the person on the radio, the sound of the radio, which is coming through the receiver and through all the stuff, and then out to everybody else. It sounds better than I do on the Heil microphone. That is a good testament to the quality of these rigs and how well everybody takes care of them and what great operators everybody is. So, again, my hat is off to those who take their time here on Saturdays, just like you, to jump into your radio room, whatever it looks like, wherever it is, wherever it may be, and share the radios, not only with us here locally here on Channel 11, but thanks to the miracle of the Universal Media Netweb, anybody, anywhere, at any time that wants to join in the fun.
Absolutely. All right, Dennis, well, thank you. I'm going to turn this off. My hand's getting warm sitting up on top of it, so I'm going to get back on my other one, and thank you very much for being there.
All right, and it is about that time for the jingle singers to do what they do best, and their little ditty that lets us know that it is time for accounting and amounting and the Old Tube Radio Network here to say bye-bye.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be
So just copy it and paste it in.
Yeah, I should have a copy and paste on that one, but everything is manually done here at the Old Tube Radio Network. No automation yet. The Browning Lavatories Golden Beacon. I will put up a shot of the R68 T68 Series 2. I have, let's see, if I just add radio. Yeah, there it is. That's the full page ad. And if I go to the screen, there is the radio itself. It's showing that it's got the banana microphone in, but I think you are not using the banana-style microphone. Is that right?
Unamplified D104 that came with it, with the Browning medallion on the back. Now, most mics have G-stands or UG8s with a hammer tone gray paint. This one has the gray paint, but it's a different kind of a texture, or it just doesn't look the same as the other one. So I think that was kind of a deal that went with the microphone that they put the medallion on. I'm not sure. Or it could have been a bad batch of paint. Unamped D104 straight cord.
Well, it never lets you down. It never lets us down. It's sounding good.
By the way, next week, when I do this Selectacom again, in place of what appears to be a ceramic or crystal cartridge, I believe, I have to actually kind of take it apart. I think that's what it is. Will be a small speaker within the regular speaker. I bought some to replace the bad speaker in my Yaesu 8800. And I bought a couple of them. Well, it turns out that even though the mic cartridge for this thing is rectangular, the bracket that holds it can hold a circular speaker, and it fits perfect. So I'm going to wire it in, and I've already tested it. It kind of works, not as well as this, but, D104 in it, but it'll be wired in with a shielded little mini cable, similar to what's on the regular cartridge. So hopefully it'll take care of some of that noise and whatever was in there. Okay, catch you next week.
And hopefully I won't have this horrendous static that I normally don't have. I hope it'll go away. Maybe we'll get some rain. I have a feeling that might fix things. All right, counting and mounting the radios. If we have one, we'll take it. Other than that, the Old Tube Radio Network is getting ready to say 73. Back in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
I wonder if they were going to actually do something. All right, thank you. Current and final Old Tube totals, SWL totals, Old Tube radio totals here on your Old Tube Radio Network tonight on the 16th of October, 2021, with in the land of the static. And Joyce says their static was the copper electric fence wire. Oh no, that was his antenna, right? Maybe that's what I've got. Maybe somebody's got to put up an electric fence to keep bozo control out. We had 64 SWLs check in tonight, 15 on page 1, 15 on page 2, 14 on page 3, and 20 on page 4. For a total of 64 and 7 radios. Not bad. I don't know what was going on. Oh, here local we have our local, back long ago it was called the District Fair, but now they call it the Big Fresno Fair. And the weekend, Saturday, the first Saturday is always the big attendance day where they might get 40,000, 50,000 people showing up for attendance. And the weather was perfect, not raining. So a lot of people out at the fair. If you're listening to us out on the fair, hello from this is the voice of the fair. But it should be ending. I don't think they do fireworks or anything. I don't know. I don't hear any of the fairgrounds is south of here. All right, radios. 7 radios, the most heard manufacturer by a little bit, because when you got 7 radios, you could have a 7-way tie. Was the Browning. Started out with the Regency Imperial double sideband AM. Paul knows the radio to use when you know you are going to be in the noise level, right? When you know your radio might be in the noise level, you bring out that double sideband suppressed carrier modulation and let it do its thing, and it indeed did. Thanks, Paul, for that. My favorite radio, one of my favorite radios, Mr. Green Arrow, Cliff on the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, the very radio that we often see on the picture when a Mark III checks in. That's the one right there. Paul was also on the Aircastle 2302. If you like Spiegel catalog, you probably saw that when you were browsing through in the early 1970s. I think the Fanon Courier Panasonic chassis under the guise of an Aircastle. Realistic Selecticom. I don't even know how to begin with that. It's a CB. It's an intercom. It's a CB and it's an intercom. It's 2 radios in one. It's like Search candy mints, breath mints. We're going to hear more from that. Harvey is working on making it into a big boy CB radio, and not just an intercom. Although maybe I'll get one. Get one to the neighbor kids. Talk to your neighbors on the Selecticom, or to the dairy down the street. Radio number 5, Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, one of our players, one of our fan favorites on the old Tube Radio Network. He followed that with his Chris 23 Plus, another Panasonic chassis, and then the only chassis you can get from a Browning is a Browning, the Browning Golden Beagle R68 T68 from Browning Lavatories. And we would be saying good evening. The bands are just nothing. I don't even hear the carriers. Where are the AM guys? 80 meters is not even there. I probably don't even hear. All right, well, there you go. FT8's on, we got FT on 40 meters. There's always an FT8 hanging out, going on somewhere. Anyway, hope you'll be able to get on the air this coming week and do what you do best. Get on your radio, whether it has tubes in it or not. Thanks for joining us tonight. And as always, stay safe. We'll do it next week. The Old Tube Radio Network saying good night from Central California. Over.
Late check-in.
Late check-in. I know if I talked long enough, I might get you coming in the door. So hopefully you were weighted down. You would be here 2 minutes earlier, but you were weighted down with all the coins in your pocket. We're going to the SWL. We're going to SWL 7, and we are hitting the button. Oh, I got to be on this to see that it worked. We're hitting the button. And by the way, we had 7 radios tonight. Over.
Oh, there we go. Lucky number 7. Well, did not come with a whole bunch of cash in my pocket. Lost $5. But hey, $5 ain't bad.
$5 ain't bad. You can't have that good of an eating for $5. You can go to the bowling alley. It'll cost you $25. and you'd come back grumpy. So that is good. So anyway, okay, we got you checked in, and you're looking good in that adds in even 65 of the SWLs tonight.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you to Bozo Control.
You gotta love that Baker Oscar Zulu Oscar. Let's put the honking proboscis. Let's see if the honking proboscis can get us up to 120% audio. Here we go. Oh yeah, up to 135%. We're looking good. Okay. And what was the frequency before I get out here? Hello, Van Man. Hello, Joey. 3927. I'm on a 40-meter antenna. And that is why I don't hear a thing on 75 meters. Unless it's loud. That's 3927. The band, I don't even think it's long or short. It's just nothing, non-existent, at least here on the West Coast. Even the DX guy is on down at 7150. I didn't even hear them on 40 meters. And listen to that. That's 160. There's that noise. Wait, look at that. Noise blanker takes it right out. So I don't know what's going on tonight. I'm going to have to go search a little bit and find out if I've got something that's generating some interference that shouldn't be. Anyway, all right, good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, and we will try it again next week. Get on the air. Work those tube radios. Yeah, that is something. I think we were the only thing going on the air tonight. 73 from the Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, 70 meters. Oregon's a pretty good shot. They come in here a lot more than the folks up in Alaska. I can say that. We get Oregon, not regular, but every now and then. We'll keep an ear open for him, Alex. Thanks for trying to get him down here. The guys would probably love to make contact with him.
Yeah, you know, Cornbread, when we can get Mrs. Calabash to listen, we know we're doing a good thing. Okay.